The Undertaker is not only loved by fans, but also highly respected amongst wrestlers. Now that the Phenom is retired, WWE has opened up and revealed a lot of personal and behind-the-scenes facts about the dead man. However, there are some things the company won't tell you about The Undertaker. In 2021, allegations were made that The Undertaker was responsible for harassing a younger wrestler. Former WWE star Rene Dupree said that during his 5-year career with the company, The Undertaker, who was the leader of the WWE locker room, had ordered other wrestlers to bully Dupree. The reason was because Dupree would not go out drinking with the other wrestlers. According to Rene Dupree, his clothes were ruined, and he even had his French flag shoved into a toilet, which was the most hurtful to him. The Undertaker never responded to these allegations, but WWE does have a dark history of bullying, especially during the time when Rene Dupree was around. However, Mark Henry and Bully Ray dismissed the allegations on their podcast and said that the dead man wasn't a bully. Shortly after Rene Dupree's claims were made, more accusations about The Undertaker came out. ECW legend Sabu was doing an interview and was asked about wrestling stiff or light. The hardcore legend said that not only did The Undertaker prefer to work light, but if his opponent was too rough, then the dead man would complain and have that person fired. Sabu did add though that, in general, that's how a lot of top wrestling talent act. Like with Rene Dupree's allegations, The Undertaker didn't say anything about the claims. However, if it is true, this wouldn't be the first time. Randy Orton infamously got hurt while wrestling with Mr. Kennedy. The Viper complained about it, and Kennedy was soon released from WWE. Speaking of Mr. Kennedy, two of The Undertaker's most infamous moments were when he hit Kennedy and Chris Kanyon with chair shots to the head. What made these so surprising was just how hard he hit them. It led many fans to speculate that Undertaker may have been intentionally trying to hurt Kennedy and Kanyon. The Kanyon incident was especially controversial since Chris Kanyon was gay in real life, and the entire segment appeared to be making fun of him. The Undertaker hasn't publicly commented on either situation, but it doesn't seem like he was trying to intentionally hurt either Kennedy or Kanyon. A Reddit user named Enterprise90 pointed out that The Undertaker gave a lot of violent chair shots and even took some himself. Additionally, Taker wasn't the only person at the time who did hard chair shots to the head. Conan, a fellow wrestler, even commented on the Chris Kanyon incident on his podcast.
But I can guarantee you Undertaker was not being stiff. He was working, and when you did chair shots back then, you brought him. That's how we worked with chairs. I took plenty of chair shots harder than that.
Additionally, when Mr. Kennedy was asked about getting hit by Undertaker, he said it was all part of the show, and that it wasn't even the most painful thing he's done in wrestling. Despite all that, these still aren't the best moments in Undertaker's career. WWE would ban chair shots to the head in 2010, partially due to the long-term damage they can and have done to wrestlers' brains. Because of his character, The Undertaker attracted some bizarre fans. However, one woman took things too far. Shortly after Paul Bearer betrayed The Undertaker, the dead man received a bottle containing blood from a fan. The woman who sent it went even further and came to a WWE show. When Paul Bearer was coming to the ring, the woman jumped the barricade and tried to attack the manager. Thankfully, nothing serious happened, but it didn't stop there. The female fan somehow found the hotel The Undertaker was staying at that night and went to his room. The dead man, of course, didn't let her in, and the hotel staff had to force the woman to leave. When Undertaker decided he wanted to become a wrestler, he trained with a man named Buzz Sawyer. The future WWE Hall of Famer paid between $2,000 and $2,500 to train, but Sawyer wasn't that great of a coach. He didn't teach Taker that much, and the dead man never got to practice in a real ring, despite Buzz Sawyer claiming he would eventually. Then, one day, Sawyer left town and disappeared without telling The Undertaker or any of the other students. That's the story the dead man tells. Buzz Sawyer's brother, Brett Sawyer, did an interview in 2022 with a different perspective. Brett implied that the Phenom quit because of how physical Buzz Sawyer's training was. This is in direct contrast to what The Undertaker has said. According to Taker, he was one of the guys who didn't stop training with Buzz Sawyer, while others did. Additionally, Brett Sawyer said the only reason The Undertaker became as popular as he did was because, in Sawyer's words,
just because he was a superstar in WWE and all that, that's just because he kissed ass all the time. That's just my opinion.
A little while after officially retiring, The Undertaker appeared on the Joe Rogan podcast. The Phenom of WWE had a lot to say, and some of it ruffled a few feathers. When asked what he thought about the current WWE product, Taker described it as soft, and that the shows had lost their edge. This caused not just WWE wrestlers, but AEW stars too, to respond to the dead man, with a lot not agreeing with the legend's opinion. Even hardcore icon Mick Foley said that the wrestlers today were just as tough as the wrestlers during his time. The Undertaker would later clarify that he wasn't bashing the current wrestlers, just the WWE product. However, he did double down on his statements about today's WWE shows lacking the edge they used to have. The dead man once killed his own manager on live TV. To see what happened, watch the top 10 scariest Undertaker moments.